Parshas Pekudei is the final parsha in Sefer Shmos. In the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about the building of the Mishkan, the contributions that the Bnei Yisrael, the Jewish people, brought to the building of the Mishkan as a kapara, as an atonement for the building of the sin of the golden calf. And now in our parsha, Moshe makes an accounting of all that's been contributed, all that's been accomplished, all that's been completed. And in the parsha of Pekudei, the Mishkan is actually established. It is completed, and Moshe lifts it up. And the people see that they have finally been successful in building the Mishkan. There's now a place for God's presence to rest among them. Now, while Moshe is going through the accounting of all the pieces of the Mishkan, he makes sure to stipulate the details of not only where all of the contributions went, but what are the results. And one of the things that Moshe highlights is that there are me'as adanim. There are 100 adanim, 100 sockets in the Mishkan itself. The significance of the number 100 and the sockets is pointed out by the Chidushei Harim. He explains as follows. The sockets were a foundation for the Mishkan. Without sockets, pieces wouldn't fit into each other, and the Mishkan would never be able to be an institution. Would never be able to fit, would never be able to stand up. So the sockets were part of the very foundation of what the Mishkan was all about. And he says that there is another 100 that has great significance in Judaism, and that is the 100 brachos, the 100 blessings that a Jew is required to make every day. Each and every day, we're required to make 100 brachos. Sometimes it may seem daunting, but if you think about it, certainly during the week, with the 19 brachos of Shmona Esrei, 19 blessings in the Shmona Esrei, and all the blessings that we say in the morning, plus the food that we eat throughout the day, we manage to get to 100 brachos rather easily if we make sure to daven 3 times a day. The significance of the 100 brachos is that the blessings represent the foundation of the relationship on an ongoing basis that an individual has with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So he points out the adanim, as the sockets are called, come from the root of the word adon. Adon means master. Just as the sockets represented the foundation of the Mishkan, so too the brachos, the 100 brachos, the 100 blessings that we say a day, represents the relationship and the recognition that we have as individuals of God's involvement in our lives on a regular basis. And that plays out with all of the blessings that we make, be it a blessing on food, or the blessing that we wake up in the morning that we're able to see, or that we're able to use our various body parts, or after we go to the bathroom, the bracha that we make, the brachos that we make throughout our davening, and when we take something, when we take an apple, and we're about to eat the apple, and before we eat it, we make a bracha to recognize the fact that the apple didn't simply come from the supermarket, but the apple came as a gift to us from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, from God. So in essence, the bracha, the blessing itself, allows us in the course of our busy lives to pause for a moment and recognize that all that we have comes from God, that we have the obligation to bless God, to bless Hashem, and by doing so, we bring ourselves closer to Hashem. The entire purpose of the Mishkan was to bring the Jewish people closer to God, to have a place where God's presence can rest among them. So the sockets represented the physical, material building in which God then rested spiritually. The brachos, the blessings that we recite, connect with our physical needs, our physical daily desires that we have to eat and to use our bodily functions, and also represent the connection that we have between us and HaKadosh Baruch Hu and God. Although we don't have a Mishkan any longer, we still have the ability to connect with Hashem, not through the 100 sockets, but through the 100 brachos that we make each and every day. May we be zocheh to recognize how special of an opportunity is to say a bracha, to say a blessing. May we take just a little bit more time in saying it and think about the words, and not only will it become more meaningful and bring us closer to Hashem, but that which we enjoy, we will end up enjoying a little bit more, because we'll know and recognize the source of its blessing. Thank you for listening, and have a good Shabbat.